Okay, right now I'm recording by itself the Canon 5D Mark II with a Rokinon 85mm f1.4. I'm shooting at f1.4, 1/50th of a second, and the room behind it is very bright because it's lit by the sun. Okay, right now I'm recording with a 50mm 1.8 on the Canon 5D Mark II. I've moved the camera closer to the flowers since I'm shooting at a 50mm instead of an 85mm, trying to at least give an equivalent size on the screen, in the viewfinder, that kind of thing. Okay, right now I'm shooting on the Canon 5D Mark II. I'm at ISO 100. I'm shooting with a Rokinon 85mm f1.4, and I'm at 1/50th of a second shutter, and I'm shooting at 1080p, 24 frames per second. So I'm following the 180 shutter rule at this point. We have very little front light coming into the kitchen here where I'm shooting from, and I'm aiming at this bamboo plant, which is strongly backlit, and I'm recording at true 85mm focal length since I'm on a full frame sensor. Now here I'm shooting at a 85mm focal length again on the Canon 5D Mark II, but this time I've moved the camera closer to better match the focal length that I was shooting with on the 7D with the same lens, which came out to an equivalent of 136mm. So I'm trying to frame the shot the same, and both times I'm focusing on that little gold hanging thing on the left hand side of the bamboo, to the left hand side of the center stalk of the bamboo. And again shooting at 1/50th of a second, f1.4 on the Rokinon 85mm 1.4 lens. Okay, this time I'm recording with the Canon 7D 85mm, which is a 136mm focal length equivalent because of the crop factor. I'm shooting at f1. Okay, right now I'm shooting on the Canon 7D at 85mm, 136mm focal length. Okay, right now I'm recording on both the Canon 7D and the Canon 5D Mark II. I've got the 24-105 lens on the Canon 7D, and I've zoomed in because of the crop factor. I'm using this lens to sort of show a comparison. I tried to zoom in and get an equivalent or a close to equivalent focal length of the 85mm on the Canon 5D Mark II, which I'm shooting with the 85-1.4 lens from Rokinon. And I'm shooting at f4 on both lenses because that's as wide open as the 24-105 lens can go. And just to get some idea of sharpness differences between the Canon glass at f4 being an L lens and the Rokinon at 85mm f4 lens being a cheapo lens. Okay, right now I'm shooting at a close to an equivalent focal length on the Canon 7D and the 5D Mark II. I'm using the Rokinon 85mm 1.4 on the Canon 5D Mark II, but we're exposed at f4.0 because on the Canon 7D I'm using the 24-105 lens, and all I can do is open up to f4.0. And I'm shooting at 1/200th of a second shutter speed on the 7D, and I'm shooting at 1/250th of a second on the 5D. And just to give you some idea of depth of field and how shallow it gets when you're shooting at f1.4, here I am shooting just on the Canon 5D Mark II at 85mm f1.4, and I'm shooting at a 12/50th of a second shutter speed in order to compensate for the sun here. And anyways, just to give you some idea of the depth of field difference between this and f4.